What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Stephanie removes WWE, Sasha Banks and Naomi quit WWE, WWE's a big problem right now, Roman Reigns confirmed this could be his last house show, Nia Jax's enemies with Becky Lynch, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and our non-wrestling channel, Incredible. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Now first story looks at Stephanie removing WWE. Atop in today's news are some interesting insights into what may have fueled Stephanie McMahon's decision to step down from WWE. As reported earlier, Stephanie stated she's taking off time to focus on her family, but there's talk there was something more to this. As first, let's take a look at some of the evidence that may be more to the billion-dollar princess's decision to leave than just family time. David Bixenspan recently tweeted, "From the could mean nothing, could mean something file, though she's left up WWE references in her bio and her background image, Stephanie McMahon's LinkedIn page no longer includes her WWE work history, just her education history and volunteer work history." PWN Torch's Wade Keller shared his thoughts on the WWE situation, including rumors that there's more to her decision to walk away, but that the reasons may never become public. "I've been told not to expect the reasons that Stephanie is stepping away to come out, but the implication is there are reasons. So this isn't going to be a public scandal, but it's something. That's about as much as I can say right now based on the indications I've gotten from talking to people who know Stephanie and Hunter or know people who know them. And yeah, they are giving me indications of things. But what might those be? But whatever is going on sounds like it's just very private. I've not been given any indications of what that is, and so it's a private and personal matter. It could have to do with Vince McMahon or Shane McMahon or Triple H. It could also have something to do with completely different within the family or something completely different going on. I just can say that I'm pretty sure it will not get out, at least not imminently, and it's probably not going to be something that's like making headlines or anything like that. Now whilst this is speculation, there isn't much information going on, but what is known does raise eyebrows. The first is that Stephanie removed her WWE history from her LinkedIn account. Did she do this on her own, or was she asked to do this? Number 2, if Stephanie wanted to take off time for her family, why didn't she do this when Triple H's serious health problems arose? And number 3, does the news that Stephanie McMahon's staff was gutted during one of the WWE's recent layovers suggest the WWE wanted to go with a new direction as far as Stephanie's work as Chief Brand Officer? But as you've undoubtedly seen online, some fans think Stephanie's exit is the latest example of Nick Khan taking over all the responsibilities for WWE's non-creative aspects. Whether this is due to Vince McMahon's happiness with the WWE's increased profits, a move to the streamlined company for putting up for sale, or something else that remains to be seen. Next up, Sasha Banks and Naomi have quit. Now, as juicy as the Stephanie McMahon rumors are, fans are also curious about the latest details involving former women's tag team champions Naomi and Sasha Banks' WWE walkout. More details are emerging on the situation, including the WWE's further efforts to scrub the two superstars from history. That's other than bad-mouthing them on television. During a recent Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer discussed the message the WWE is sending to its wrestlers by bad-mouthing Naomi and Sasha. The fact that they buried Sasha and Naomi again, it just tells you the mood that they were in. They were in a very strong mood, and I know also it was absolutely meant as a message to talent. Don't walk out during a live show because we will bury you. Whether that matters or not to talent, I don't know, but it absolutely was a message to everyone there that if you, again, can discuss things and whatever, you can question things and all that, and that's part of the deal. I think the problem was the walking out. Now, the ever-reliable WrestleVotes tweeted, "After talking to a few people, I gather this Sasha and Naomi situation is going to get worse before it gets any better. While the majority of the support online is in their favor, it's quite the opposite with management." Fans have already seen how the WWE stripped Naomi and Banks of the Tag Team Championship, suspended them indefinitely, removed their merchandise from WWE shop, and removed their Facebook pages. Not to mention replacing them in the intro. But that's not all, as Ringside News' Steve Carrier tweeted, "For those who are wondering, no creative ideas are being pitched for Sasha Banks and Naomi. Nobody is throwing an idea out there in case Vince wants to bring them back. No official mandate was handed down, but it was not needed. We were told it's pretty obvious they're gone." With rumors both female superstars' contracts are set to expire and the WWE fearful that they'll leave WWE for AEW, the company may put them in limbo, freezing their contracts until something such as a lawsuit forces the company to bring them back or let their contracts run out. Next up, Snoop Dogg shows support for Sasha. While WWE management is apparently angry with Banks, her cousin Snoop Dogg is showing his support for her. According to Wrestling Inc.'s Cy Mohan, on Sunday night, Snoop wrote bloodlining cousins on Instagram to go with pictures of himself and Banks spending time together. A WWE Celebrity Hall of Famer has worked in WWE and AEW, which suggests he'll support his cousin wherever she goes. Next up, WWE's big problem. Michael Cole's announcement that WWE will hold a tournament to crown a new women's tag team champions has a lot of people scratching their heads as they wonder just how many teams the WWE has to fill in a tag team tournament. Now, we discussed this right after the announcement, and Dave Meltzer seems to agree with our assessment of slim pickings in the women's division. Speaking on the Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer mused, we'll see what they come up with. Well, you just put, geez, Selena and Carmella have broken up twice, but whatever. The only team is Baszler and Natalya. Everybody else is like Morgan and Rhea Ripley broke up as a tag team. Meltzer continued his analysis, noting, I guess you could do Nikki Ash and Doudrop as a team, but they certainly weren't put together as a team to be in the championship mix. They were put together in as a team to, do whatever they were going to do with Nikki to culminate the little angle they were doing. If the WWE goes with these 4 teams, they'll have enough to create a bare bones tournament. The last time they had any significant tag teams, other than the half-assed, hastily thrown together teams, was 2019's Elimination Chamber, where 6 teams competed in the chamber to crown the inaugural Women's Tag Team Championships. Next up, Roman Reigns confirms less live events. A current undisputed world champion Roman Reigns has been sharing his thoughts with fans at live events, including what appears to be a confirmation his days doing live events could be over. You may recall Reigns reportedly signed a new WWE deal that gives him a much lighter schedule, including few or no live event appearances. After dispatching Drew McIntyre at a live event in Cedar Rapids, Reigns told the fans, I know I had the internet talking last week or the week before that, but I honestly don't know if I'm going to be doing too many more live events like this on a Sunday going forward. So this could be my last one, and I want y'all to know that this was very special for me and I had an incredible time. While Reigns may not be obligated to work any live events, we have an idea that he would work major live events such as a show at Madison Square Garden, if asked. Next up, Ronda recalls Backlash pitch. A current SmackDown Women's Champion Ronda Rousey proposed an interesting spot for an I Quit match at Wrestlemania Backlash that would have involved the seemingly hapless Drew Gulak. During a Q&A with fans on Facebook, the baddest woman on the planet discussed her proposal to WWE management. She mentioned, it's funny, I pitched him, Drew Gulak, getting involved, getting thwacked. I pitched him to getting involved for the I Quit match at Wrestlemania Backlash, like running into him and thwacking him. Rousey and Charlotte Flair's Backlash brawl is still being praised for its intensity and violence, at least as much violence as a family-friendly WWE product can pull off. And finally, Nia Jax is now enemies with Becky Lynch. Last but not least, Alina Fanine, aka former WWE superstar Nia Jax, doesn't appear to be friends with Becky Lynch anymore. Jax was asked by a fan via Instagram whether she was in good friendship with Becky. She replied, lol, I don't think she has a good friendship with anyone. Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens reminded fans of the apparent falling out between Lynch and Jax, saying Lynch unfollowed Jax on social media after she made controversial comments about the Ukraine-Russia war. Jax has also been open about her anti-mask, anti-vaccine beliefs, as she thinks she was released by WWE last November because she didn't get the COVID-19 vaccine. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.